Hello everyone. In this video, I will discuss arithmetic sequence, specifically solving for the unknown variable. So basically, this video is all about problems that you might encounter in solving problems that involves arithmetic sequence. Let's have a short review about what is an arithmetic sequence. So let's identify which among these sequences is an arithmetic or are arithmetic in nature, and if it's arithmetic sequence, what is the common difference? Let's check the first sequence. Is this an arithmetic sequence? Yes, it's not an arithmetic sequence. Why is that? Well, from 2 to 10, that's 8. From 10 to 18, that's 8. But from 18 to 24, that's not 8, right? It's 6. So therefore, this is not an arithmetic sequence. So for this letter A to become an arithmetic sequence, all those differences should be 8. How about letter B? That is right. This is an arithmetic sequence, and the common difference is -4. How about letter C? That is right. This is also an example of arithmetic sequence because the common difference, the common difference is 7. How about letter D? Yes, that's right. It's not an arithmetic sequence because from 9 to 15 it's 6, from 15 to 21 is 6, and from 21 to 27 is 7. From 21 to 28 is 7. How about letter E? That is right. It's an arithmetic sequence. From -4 to -1, that's +3. From -1 to +2 is +3. And from 2 to 5 is obviously 3 also. Okay? So here I will show you 6 problems that involves arithmetic sequence. Okay? We are solving for the unknown variable. Let's begin with this example. What is the common difference in an arithmetic sequence if the first term is 2 and the 19th term is 164? So, here, let's start with the formula, right? Okay. Next, the question is, what is the common difference? So basically, that variable is D. Okay. We have 4 variables here, a(n), a1, d, and n. What's missing is d. Now let's try to find what's an, what's a1, and what's n. In this arithmetic sequence, so what is the common difference in an arithmetic sequence if the first term is 2? So our a1 is +2. And the 19th term is 164. So 19, what is that? Is that an or um uh, an or n? We only have 2 choices. That is our n. So one way of knowing that that number is n is there's a letter on a superscript letter on beside that number 19. Okay, that signifies that it's your n. And obviously the last number, which is 164, is your a sub n. So after knowing all these variables, the value of these variables, a1, n, and an, we just need to replace or substitute those numbers to the formula. So this is 164. Our a1 is +2. We don't know d. 19 is the value of n. Okay. Let's solve this. What is that? That's 18, right? So 18d. Okay, bring down 2 and then 164. Next, subtract 2 on both sides. So you're going to undo that +2, right? 164 minus 2 is 162 equals 18 d. Okay. And then finally, we just need to divide 18 on both sides, right? So 162 divided by 18. That is right. It's equal to 9. Okay. Next, let's go to the next example. The 41st term of the sequence or arithmetic sequence is 127. What is the first term of the sequence if the common difference is positive 3? So here, we're looking for the first term, which in the formula, okay, in the formula, it's our a sub 1. Okay? Um, Obviously, we have here um, the 41st term. So I mentioned earlier, every time you see that superscript beside that number, okay, that means we're talking about n, the number of terms in the sequence. And obviously that 127 is your an, because here it's also mentioned that the common difference is positive 3. So after knowing these three variables, we just need to substitute them to the formula. An is 127 equals a1. We don't know that. Our d is positive 3 times n, which is 41 minus 1. So this is 127 equals a1 plus 3 times 40. a1 plus 3 times 40 is 120. And then subtract 120 on both sides, right? So our a sub 1, or the first term of the sequence, is positive 7. Okay, let's go to another problem. The first and the last term of an arithmetic sequence are 10 and negative 158 respectively. How many terms are in the sequence if the common difference is negative 4? So how many terms? What is that? In what variable is that in this formula? How many terms? That is your n. So that means we don't know n. Okay. Now let's read the problem again. The first and the last term. The first and the last term. So the first and the last term of an arithmetic sequence are 10. So first 10, that's your a1. And the last, so 158 last term, that's your an, negative 158. Respectively, how many terms are in the sequence if the common difference is negative 4? So d is equal to negative 4. So again, after finding out those numbers, all we need to do is to substitute them in the formula. Our an is negative 158. Our a1 is 10. We have d, which is negative 4. And we don't know n, right? Next, we can do this simultaneously, like first subtract 10 on both sides. This is negative 168. And then distribute this. That will be negative 4n plus 4. Next, subtract 4 on both sides. Cross that out. This will be negative 4n equals negative 172. And then divided by negative 4, divided by negative 4. So what is 100 and negative 172 divided by 4? That is equal to 43. So 43 equals n. Okay. Next, let's go to the next example. An arithmetic sequence has a third term of 19 and eighth term of 54. What is the common difference? So here, we will be having a different approach because as you can see in the problem, we have a missing variable d, but it's not mentioned here the first term. We don't know the first term. We also don't know and how many terms are in the sequence, right? So those two things, and what else we don't know here? The last term, right? So all we know is that the third term is 19 and the eighth term is 54. What's the common difference? So to do this, let's start with converting this information into equation. So third term, okay, maybe I will rewrite that as a sub 3 equals 19. Third term is 19. Eighth term is 54. Okay. Next, we will convert this into equations. Now remember, the equation or the formula for finding the indicated term of an arithmetic sequence is this. Okay. So your AN for the first equation, which is A3 equals 19, your AN is 19. You don't know A1, we don't know that, we don't know D. And this number 3 here, oh, that's subscript number 3. Okay, that's your N. Okay. Oh, I said that's the N, but I put N. It should be positive 3. And then for this one, we have 54 equals A1 plus D times 8 minus 1. Next, let's simplify this. This will be 19 equals A1 plus 2D. And then this is 54 equals A1 plus 7D. Okay. Next thing that we will do is we will subtract this, like each term in these two equations. Okay. Let's start with 19 minus 54 equals, well, A1 minus A1. Oh, A1 minus A1 is equal to 0. So let's just get rid of that. And then 2D minus 7D. So now we have an equation that has a single variable. We can solve for D here. That's our problem, right? What's the common difference? That's our D. 19 minus 54 is equal to what? 19 minus 54. That is right. It's negative 35 equals negative 5D. And then finally, divided by negative 5, divided by negative 5. Our D is equal to 7. Okay? Okay, let's go to the next example. Number 5, an arithmetic sequence has a 10th term of 42 and a 17th term of 77. Find the first term of the sequence. So if you notice, the previous example is almost the same as this one, but the problem is different, right? A while ago, it's the common difference. This time, we need to find the first term of the sequence. So for this case, since we already know about, finding the common difference, we will be doing the same procedure like what we did earlier to this problem. So let's start with A10 equals 42, and then A sub 17 equals 77. So A10 equals 42 is equal to, or convert this into equation, this will be 42 equals A1 plus D times 10 minus 1. This is 77 equals A1 plus D times 17 minus 1. Right? Next, let's simplify both. 42 equals A1 plus 9D. This is 77 equals A1 plus 16D. Okay. And then we will subtract them, right? So 42 minus 77 equals, cross that out, 9D minus 16D. So 42 minus 77, I know, sorry for my handwriting. So 42 minus 77 is equal to negative 35. And then This is negative 7d. Oh, it's almost the same as, oh yeah, it's almost the same as this one. Yeah. Okay, divided by negative 7, our d is again 5. As you can see in the previous one. Oh, it's 7 here. Yeah, but here this one is 5. Okay. I thought they're the same. But anyways. Okay. So after that, what's next? That's not the question. That's the common difference. What we need to know is the first term, right? So after that, you just need to choose between the two equations. So we have the first equation and then the second equation. You can choose any of those two to find a1. So if I will solve this, I will choose the first one. So 42 equals a1 plus 9d. Okay, so 42 equals a1 plus 9. Replace that d by 9. Oh, replace that d by 5 rather. So 5. a1 plus 45. This is 42. And then minus 45 on both sides. This is negative 3 equals a1. There you go. That's our first term in the sequence. Okay? Let's go to the next example. What is the 43rd term of an arithmetic sequence if the fourth term is negative 20 and the seventh term is negative 47? So to find the 43rd term, we need to know what? We need to know, that's our n, right? So we need to know d, the common difference, and we need to know a sub 1. We don't know those two variables, right? But I know you remember in the past two examples, we were able to find d and then a sub 1, right? So we will be doing the same procedure here as what we did in the last example. Okay, let's start with a4 equals negative 20 and then a7 equals negative 47. a4 equals negative 20, that is negative 20 equals a1 plus d times 4 minus 1. This is negative 47 equals a1 plus d times 7 minus 1. Next, simplify both. Negative 20 equals a1 plus 3d. And then negative 47 equals a1 plus 60. Next, cross that out. This will be negative. We will subtract each term here. So negative 20 minus negative 47 equals 3d minus 60. Okay. So this is negative 20 plus 47 equals negative 3d. And this is negative 20 plus 47 is 27 equals negative 3d divided by negative 3 divided by negative 3. So our d is negative 9. Okay, we're not yet done. So now we have d, we need to find a. So choose again between these two equations. I say let's choose the first again. So we have negative 20 equals a1 plus 3d. Now instead of writing d, we will replace that d by negative 9. So this is negative 20 equals a1 plus negative 27. So let's add 27 on both sides. Our a1 is positive 7. So now that we have our first term, our common difference, I think we can now find the 43rd term of the sequence using this formula again. Oh, what happened? That should be 1 plus d times n minus 1. Our first term is 7. Our D is negative 9. Our N is that one, 43. So 7 plus negative 9, okay, times 42. So 7 plus 9, 9 times 42. What is that? 300, negative 378. Negative divided by positive is negative, right? And then add 7. They have different signs, so we need to subtract them. So 371 negative. That is our A sub 43. There you go. I hope you learned something. Thank you for watching.